Welcome to Master Debate, and I'm your host, Andreas Renan. Tonight, our debate topic is one that has been discussed for decades now, and that is Marvel versus DC. The two franchises are known for some of the best characters in media like Superman and Spider-Man, but which comic company will win tonight? Well, that's what we're going to find out. Defending Marvel is Jeremy Goldstein, and defending DC is Mike Boetti. Now, Jeremy, we're going to take it to you first. Why is Marvel so great?
Easy. It's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We live in an era in today's world, Andreas, where movies are dominant over all forms of media and messages that are brought out to the population that lives on this earth today. And so I think it's got to be the MCU that makes Marvel so great.
All right, Mike?
I really don't think movies prevail over TV shows, over bingeable hour-long TV shows. But that's a conversation for a different day. But in terms of DC versus MCU, if you're a child, you like the MCU. You like seeing Spider-Man swing his webs everywhere, right?
Oh, man.
But if you're an adult, if you're a grown-ass man, you like DC.
All right, well, let's not get hostile here, but let's not forget, too, we're making fun of how MCU or how Marvel's aimed for the child, but a lot of the films that DC has produced were made on a cartoon animated platform. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, no, I mean, that was just a little joke, you know what I mean? Just trying to make my point, right? But DC does have a lot of animated movies and TV shows like the Teen Titans and
Teen
others.
Titans go to the movies?
Teen Titans.
You like that movie?
Teen Titans Normal, Teen Titans Go. They're both fantastic, better than any other animated cartoon show Marvel has put out. But in terms of movies, I mean, DC has just put out. It's the same formula with Marvel. That's my issue.
Very true, but a lot of the movies put out by DC have not been in chronological order, jumping between different timelines. A lot of what Marvel focuses on is making one continuous stream where the viewer can watch from beginning to end. So what do you have to say a little bit more about that, Jeremy?
Oh, it's fantastic, and it's not like these movies all connected. They're not good. You have Captain America, The Winter Soldier, Civil War, Iron Man, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. All these movies that have really high cinema scores, that have done a lot in terms of connecting the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The best DC products, like the new Batman movie and Joker, aren't even connected into the DCEU. That DCEU is in shambles. We had actors leave, move on, all that crap.
All right, but it seems like you two are now starting to get into a little bit more of the character side of things.
Yes.
So remember, these comic companies go beyond what the movies produce, and also the comics themselves as well. But a lot of these characters, they resemble a lot of each other. Green Arrow and Hawkeye. Zatanna was loosely based off of Scarlet Witch. Even, Vision and Red Tornado have a lot of similarities. So despite these similarities, what makes a Marvel universe so much better than that of DC?
Well, you mentioned the characters that we just compared. Scarlet Witch, part of WandaVision, which is the best superhero show of this modern era in terms of ratings and the amount of viewership it's had. Zatanna has not made an appearance on the big screen. In Green Arrow, he had a couple seasons of a good TV show, but that fell off so quick. Hawkeye was part of an MCU show with the gorgeous Haley Steinfeld.
Now, can you tell me any one of these characters that made a big impact in the comics?
Oh, absolutely. Hawkeye was one of the original Avengers. He was what made... The Avengers is what made Marvel so great, and he was part of that as well. And then WandaVision had, the No More Mutants, her Thanos version of eliminating all mutants. That was
House of M.
House of M, a crazy big comic book storyline. So it's not just the movies with these characters.
All right, Mike, what about you? Some of these characters I just mentioned, their biggest impacts on movies or in the comics?
I mean, DC has some classic characters. Batman, Superman, and the best woman superhero of all time in Wonder Woman. Let's not even get started about that. Supersedes anything Marvel has to offer in terms of a female superhero, right? And yes, unfortunately, the DCEU timeline is not as perfectly aligned like Marvel, but it's getting to that point. And I think the recent movies that they've put out, like the Batman, like the Joker, that have been applauded by movie critics everywhere.
All right, let's try to stick away from the movies because remember, this is the comics as well. Jeremy, you want to say something?
Well, regarding what Mike just said, the Joker and the Batman, those movies are not intertwined, and those movies are not even going to the DCEU. So clearly they need a standalone movie to make themselves great.
Okay, darlings, let's calm down now. But another big thing that people love about these two universes are the big character team-ups. So for Marvel, we have the Avengers, X-Men. DC, we have the Justice League, one of the biggest. So what makes these groups better than the other? Marvel, let's start with you.
Well, Avengers, the 4 Avengers movies we've gotten so far have all been fantastic. Avengers Infinity War is the
Let's
best.
try to stick away from Avengers. What about the other groups? Fantastic Four, X-Men. Try to say something about
First
that.
Class, a very good movie with a star-studded cast. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and all those other guys as well. You have Kevin McAvoy playing Charles Xavier as well, or excuse me, Patrick Stewart. My apologies on that one, Andreas. But nonetheless, X-Men has put together a lot of good movies too, and they're coming out with more in the near future as well as Fantastic Four.
All right, so we got the X-Men. What about you for DC?
X-Men has been terrible.
No.
They've been horrendous. That's why they haven't had a movie in a while. But of course, they're trying to bring it back with Hugh Jackman. He's a big name and whatnot.
What
Marvel's
about
able
some
to
of the
feud
groups in
for them.
DC that really make an impact?
I think the Justice League, it's more comparable to the Avengers, but I think the group of superheroes in the Justice League is far, far superior compared to Marvel. I mean, you got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
Now, we can't
Green
just focus
Lantern,
on that
Green
main group.
Lantern.
Is there any other group besides the Justice League that really makes a stand for itself?
Not in particular,
no.
but Justice League. Just individually, I'll give the group side to Marvel. You know,
It seems like Justice League
if
won.
you
All right,
like
but
the
now that
buddy
time,
stuff.
you lost this one. I'm sorry. Now that time is running out, let's just start off and let's just end it with a really strong note. What's one character that you like from Marvel?
I like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. All
Spider-Man's
right, keep it
solid.
nice and strong and basic. What about you for
This
DC?
is a tough one. I'm going to go with, I really love the early Green Arrow from that TV show. I
Interesting.
thought he was fantastic.
right.
Stephen Amell was great.
Sticking it true to the classics. All right, that's about all the time that we have left for today. Jeremy and Mike, thank you very much for this discussion. And coming up after the break, we're going to break down last night's Switchcast and how some people weren't able to handle a little joke. All that and much more when we come back. Stay tuned.